Hey, how you going? I'm just gonna wait. I jumped on a little bit early so that I can make sure we get a few people online. Make sure I've got everything organised. Hey Ange, hey April. I can only see some oh, there we go. How you going, Christy? Hey everyone. So I'll just wait a little bit longer just to make sure everyone jumps online. Hey Paige, hey David. Bye David. Hey everyone. Alright, I might get started. Okay, so this is something I learned, something I want to share with you, something that's really helped me. A little bit about myself. I'm an independent Scentsy consultant and director for Scentsy Fragrance in Australia. Hey Heidi and Orville, this just got real. Okay, so I want to share this because it has really helped me. I am not a very confident person. I am not, well, I never used to appear to be a very confident person. I'm a big person, and so naturally my sole aim in life is to make myself smaller so that I look smaller for other people, and by doing so it shrinks my presence and it shrinks my power. So something I learned from Grey's Anatomy is called a superhero pose. And now I'm going to share with you the exact clip that I learnt this off. I'm not sure if you're all Grey's Anatomy fans, but I am. I've been in way too deep for far too long. And so a little bit of background about this clip. Amelia is a surgeon, a brain surgeon, and she has this really difficult case, and she's confident that she can do it, but she's having some self-doubt. So I'm going to show this. I'm going to turn myself around and I'm going to share this clip with you on YouTube. So hang on, I'll shut my light off so hopefully you can see it a bit better. So this is the operating room. They're about to start the surgery, and this is Amelia. I don't know if you can see well. She's a bit nervous, so she's about to start doing this thing, so I'm just going to let you listen.
Okay, I have everything set up. You will have all of your films, your favorite scrub nurse. What is happening?
I'm being a superhero.
Okay.
There's a scientific study that shows that if you stand like this in superhero pose for just 5 minutes before a job interview or a big presentation or a really hard task, you will not only feel more confident, you will perform measurably better.
Seriously?
Seriously.
So you can see that she's still quite nervous. Her voice is trembling, but she's doing this superhero pose anyway. So her assistant is doing the same thing. I'm gonna turn my light back on. So she's still nervous, but she's doing it anyway. She's doing the superhero pose in hope that it's going to help her because she read a study. So I started doing this, and it really helps. I don't know, at the time I didn't know why, I didn't know how, and exactly, I'm about to get to that. Yes, so it really does help. What it does is you are making yourself bigger. You are making yourself occupy more space. You are giving yourself power. And so with power comes confidence, and there is actually a hormonal reason why this happens. So if you think about some traits of a confident person, they have really big presence, they're authentic, they're captivating, they have a lot of passion, and they're really comfortable in themselves and comfortable talking about whatever they're talking about. So generally when I think about confidence, I think of men and having a bit of bravado and generally like the boss man. My boss at my very first job, he walked around and everyone knew he was the boss. He had the presence. And so naturally being a male, he had the testosterone. Now, women have testosterone hormone as well. So what happens when you have a lot of confidence and when you do this superhero pose, it shows on a hormonal level. Your testosterone will go up. If you do this for 2 minutes, your testosterone will go up 20% and your cortisol or your stress hormone will go down by 25%, just for doing this for 2 minutes without even knowing what you're doing. So it's something that you can do. You don't have to believe it. It's going to work anyway. And so what you're doing is you're faking it till you make it. You're tricking your brain. And if you do this often enough, you're going to teach yourself, it's actually going to affect your confidence. So you're going to have more confidence as you go forward because you're going to get better results. So as Christy mentioned before, this is actually on a TED Talk that I've found recently because I've been doing this superhero pose for 2 minutes. So before I do a party for Scentsy, I would stand in my bedroom, occupying more space, chin up, chest out, doing a superhero pose. And this TED Talk that I found is by Caddy, and she's a social psychologist. And her talk is fantastic. I'm going to post some links on my Facebook page and I'm going to post this to YouTube, so you'll get the links later. I cannot stress enough how important this is to watch and to do, even if you don't believe it, because it works without you believing it. It's going to change. Okay, so this is what she says. You're tricking your mind and body. Our bodies can change our minds. So we're doing the superhero pose and it's changing what's going on in our brain. Our mind can change our behavior, which most people know, and our behavior changes the outcome. So if you go into a job interview or a Scentsy party, or if you're another party plan consultant, if you go into a party and you're trying to make yourself feel smaller, you're trying to occupy less space, you're not going to give off the best impression of you. So if you want to stand out and be more captivating, it's going to lead to a better result. Job interviews, if you're closed off and a bit shy and a bit shaky and nervous, you're not going to come off as your best self, and that's what you want to come off as. So my sole point of this is I really want you to try and start doing superhero poses. It can be from standing in this like the jumping jack star jump position with your arms. You can't see my arms, but they're way out up high. You can sit with your hands on your hips, legs spread. As long as you're giving yourself power, it literally works. You can't help but have it work. And the more you do this and the more confidence you gain without even knowing about it, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to have measurable results. So me not being a confident person, I really struggled going to parties. I would literally shake, like I'm still shaking now, but I'm okay. I would shake, I would pass around a warmer and the dish would jump like a teacup on a saucer because I was so nervous and I didn't like being the center of attention or anything like that, and I knew that it was giving myself bad results, and it did. And so something I started to help myself along was a party diary. So I would write down whenever I had a party date, I'd start a new page. I'd write down when it was, what games I wanted to play, if I had offered an extra incentive or any deals that we had. I'd sort of make little notes. And every time I do my hostess coaching, I'd contact the host. I'd write it down in my party diary. And so I would do this all the way along till the party date. I'd write down, like 5 minutes before I left, I'd write down how I was feeling, which was usually shaky and usually very nervous, quite hot in the face. And so I was talking myself into being nervous by doing this. So after I'd get home, I'd talk about if I missed anything in my presentation, if I stuffed anything up, if I forgot about it. I was making notes on what I was doing wrong, so next time I could perform better and make sure I was doing it better. But subconsciously, I was just talking myself into these negative things that were happening all the time. So now I started integrating the superhero pose before I write in my diary, before I go to a party. So I would do my superhero pose, I'd get in my little car and I'd broom off to this party, and I would do another superhero pose in my car before I got out, before I went into the party. And my average sales per person went from about $38 to $47 in a month. So I love that I can track it by doing an average of the sales per how many people were going, and I would be able to do this by just doing this 2-minute superhero pose. So the more you look into it, the more studies you can find, and the more evidence based on how it all works. So I'm going to post some links. I want you to watch Grey's Anatomy. It's season 11, episode 14. If you really want to watch it, it's a really good episode. But I want you to watch this TED Talk, and I want you to incorporate this in part of your training. Train your new team members on how to boost their confidence by not doing anything really that hard. Everyone can stand in front of a mirror or in front of a window and do a 2-minute superhero pose. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to get across today. I want to hear how you're going. So if you guys are friends with me on Facebook, please send me messages and let me know what's happening. If it works for you, I need to know. I need to hear how it's going. And make sure if it's working for you that you share it with other people. Teach everyone you can. Teach your children to do it. Teach your cousin who's having a job interview next week. Teach as many people as you can, because you can't help but win at this. You can't help but be more confident and change your body by changing your actions and changing your mind. So I'm going to jump off now. Short and sweet. I didn't read any of the comments as I was going because I didn't have time. So I hope this has helped you. And if it has, please let me know. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in Sophie Scents and you'll be able to find my Facebook page. PM me. Let me know how you go with it. Okay, I'm signing off now. See ya.